Okay, started. So we did like alphabetic order yesterday, right? Means if I have to take the cross product, then if after
Yes,
I
sir.
comes J, then I cross J will give us K. J
K,
cross K will give us I.
I,
K cross I will give us again J, so
J.
on. And if we go in opposite order, if I start with K first, if I take K
The
first and then
negative
go
of
to,
will come, sir.
if we go backwards, then we are getting negative. If we go forward, then we are getting positive. So K cross J will not be plus I, K cross J will be minus I. This way we can remember. And what about I cross I? Cross product of a vector with itself will be 0 always, because sign 0 is 0. Okay, so we have to remember two types of product are there. One is scalar, one is vector. Scalar product is AB cos theta. Vector product is AB sin theta. But here the result is vector. So AB sin theta is just magnitude. If I only say AB sin theta, that is not sufficient. I have to specify direction. Direction specified by the normal vector. What was the problem with just taking normal vector only and not telling anything else, not taking a right hand thumb rule? If I don't take any other rule, if I just remember normal vector only, then there's a problem. There can be two perpendiculars to a plane. How many perpendiculars can we draw to YZ plane? We can draw two perpendiculars, either along I
Yes,
cap
sir.
or along minus I cap. Both I cap as well as minus I cap are perpendicular to YZ plane. Similarly, if I want to take XZ plane, then again I can draw two perpendiculars, either along J cap or along minus J cap. Any plane will have two perpendiculars. So this definition is not sufficient. To specify the direction, actually, I have to learn this thing also. If I'm looking at the vectors drawn in space, if I'm looking at the vectors drawn in space and I want to take vector A cross vector B, then what I need to do? Draw a angle with a arrow. Arrow in which direction? First vector to the second vector. If I am taking cross product of A with B, then first vector to second vector I have to draw arrow. This arrow is giving us angle's direction, that is coming out to be anti-clockwise. And remember, anti-clockwise means it is pointing perpendicularly out of the plane. Out of which plane? Out of plane containing vectors. Out of plane containing vectors A and B. Similarly, what about if I take B cross A? B first and then A. Then start with B and go to A. Then I have to take perpendicularly into the plane of paper. Plane of paper or perpendicularly into the plane of vectors containing.
Sir, they will
B.
mention that, sir,
What they will mention?
about anti-clockwise, or we have to.
No,
We
they
have.
will give the product. You have to make the angle. They will just give the product. They will just make the
Okay,
vectors
sir.
and they will give the product. You have to decide yourself on.
Okay,
See, there
sir.
are two things. Two possibilities are there. One possibility that they give us vectors in diagram drawing. They will draw the vectors. Let us say this vector is drawn, another vector is drawn. And then you have to tell what is the direction of the product A cross B. What will be the direction of A cross B? If they are doing it by drawing, then you have to make the angle yourself with arrow. And then you have to see if it is coming out to be anti-clockwise direction, then it is perpendicularly out of the plane of the paper. When we will do that? When they are giving us vectors diagram drawn in the paper. But if they are not drawing the vectors, instead of that, if they are doing like this, they can give vector A given as 2 I cap plus 3 j cap, and they can give vector B given as maybe I cap minus j cap. That way also they can give. What to do if they are giving in this way? Then we will do A cross B will be equal to 2 I cap plus 3 j cap cross I cap minus j cap. When there is no coefficient here, then it means it is 1 actually. It is 1 I cap and it is 1
Yes, sir.
j cap. So what we will do now,
Is there any
the way
definition?
we normally take the product, how do we take normally? Normally we will multiply
Two
the coefficient with the coefficient. What is the coefficient
2
of
into
first?
1
2 into 1, that is 2, and I
I
cross I.
cap.
I
Yes,
cross
sir.
I. Plus, again 2 into minus 1, that will be minus 2. That will be minus 2, and it will be I cross j. Then plus, it will be 3, and then it will be j cross I.
I.
Then last one more is pending. that is -3, and then it will be j cross j. I have told you before, what is the cross product of a vector with itself? I cross I and j cross j. That will give us 0.
0.
So
Zero.
it is only once I am doing this thing. For the first time I am doing this thing, that I am taking I cross I. Next time I will never take that. I will never take j cross j. I will just keep it in mind only, but never write it on the paper. We will just keep it in mind that we don't have to take this. This will give us 0 only. 0 minus 2. Now, what is the product in front of you? It is I cross j. Go to I cross j here.
K cap.
I cross j will be k cap. K cap. Plus, then go to j cross I. J
Minus
cross I
K
is
cap.
Minus K cap.
minus k cap. If it is coming out to be minus, then I can do one thing. I can write minus 3 k cap here itself. I can write 3. I can write plus 3 into minus k cap is also same thing. I write minus 3 k cap or plus 3 into minus k cap. Both are same. Next, 0. So what is the result finally? Final result is
Minus 5 cap. Minus 5 K cap.
minus 5. Minus 5 k cap.
Minus
That is
5
the
K cap.
that is the direction. So the vector is finally pointing towards negative z axis. Okay. Similarly,
Yes.
if I have to take the dot product, then dot product is much simple. I have to just take magnitude of first vector into magnitude of second vector into cos theta, where theta is angle between them. This I will do if they are giving us diagrams and angles. But if they are not giving us diagram and angle, instead of that, they are giving us, again, same vector, let me take 2i plus 3j, and b is given as I minus j. Then how to take dot product? A dot b will be 2i plus 3j. In between these, take dot I minus j. Then again, the same way as we did before, 2 into 1, 2 I dot I. Plus, next 2 into, or let me cut it short. I have discussed already yesterday, so today I will not do like that. What I had told you yesterday, if I okay, I think
I
did
into I
tell
is
you?
equal to 1, sir. J into J is equal to 1.
Here I told you, just remember this. If I take A dot B, final result is AX with BX and AY with BY. AX into BX plus AY into BY. So what I'm going to do, I'm just no need to take IJ, all these things you leave these now. If you take
2
I
minus
dot I,
3.
if you do that way also taking separately I dot J, it will give us right result, but I will be directly taking X coefficient with X coefficient and
Plus
Y
3
coefficient
to
with
minus 1.
Y coefficient. Then it is becoming out to be 2 minus 3, and that is minus 1. And
Minus
that is
1.
answer. That is answer. In this case, no I cap, no J cap will appear now at last, because it is a scalar product. Means the product gives a scalar. In fact, rather than saying scalar product, probably it would be better if you would be calling these as product that gives us scalar and the product that gives us vector. But this is a usual, means this is normally, we are by convention we are talking these as scalar product. We are already calling these as scalar product and vector product only. So we will keep it that way only. Okay. Next we can do one thing here. The way we have discussed this separately for how to write it if it is given ax ay, then same way I can do for vectors also. Let me do it for vectors. If it is given ax I cap plus ay j cap cross bx I cap plus by j cap, can you tell me what is the cross product result finally?
A square x plus a square y.
No. It is cross product. It is different and that is different.
Sorry.
And by the way, a square x will not be in any of the cases. I don't know how you're getting ax.
AX
AX
BY
BY
K cap
minus
minus
AY BX K cap, sir.
BX K cap.
First of all, I cross I will not appear because I cross I will become 0, right?
0.
So what will appear? This will be multiplied with the second.
I cross
AX
J.
BY
So ax by I cross j
Minus
plus I'm writing first ay bx and j cross
J cross I.
Then I can write ax by minus ay
AY
bx
BX
whole I
into
cross
K
j, because this product is not commutative. I have discussed before yesterday. A cross B is not equal to B cross A. A cross B is equal to minus of B cross A. Let me write it here itself. A cross B is equal to minus of B cross A. This is not commutative product, right? This is not commutative. Here I have written here non-commutative. So therefore, J cross A I can write as minus of I cross J. J cross A is minus, J cross I is minus of I cross J. Then we can write I cross J finally as K cap. So we are getting AX BY minus AY BX whole multiplied by K cap. Now, my main motive is to, you have to make a guess. What will I do if I have given all the three components? Z is also given. If I have to take the cross product of this with BX I cap plus
Determinant.
BY J cap plus BZ K cap. And similarly, what will we do if I have to take here also with three components plus AZ K cap dot product with all the three components taken together, BX I cap plus BY J cap plus BZ K cap. If I take the dot
AX
product of
BX
this
plus AY BY plus
AY
AZ, BZ.
BY plus AZ BZ, and what about
BZ.
in the cross product case? In the cross product, just do one thing. See this one. What we are writing here? We are writing AB. So write AB and write AB again. Write AB and write AB again. Write AB and write AB again. In between put minus minus, and here you take bracket 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 bracket. Here first one was, let us say K cap. Then second one will be after K. What comes after K? I. What comes
I
after
cap.
I? J.
J.
Add this. This will be the resultant. With first is XY and YX. This we are changing. XY and then YX. XY and YX. Then second one will be, what comes after X?
YZ ZY.
YZ ZY. Then after YZ, after that,
ZX,
ZX.
XZ.
XZ.
XZ. So this is how we will be getting the final cross product we will be getting in this way. Actually, in books you will find some shortcut tricks they will be giving you like this also. Let me write it somewhere. That method also which is given in the books. In the books they will do it in this way, although I prefer not ever, no need of that. But anyway, let me tell you how they do it in the books. They do it in this way: I, J, K, AX,
AY AZ.
AZ, sorry,
BX BY BZ.
AZ and B, 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 X, Y, Z. This we will do only and only if I have to find A cross B. A cross B will be determinant of this. Do you know how to take the determinants or not?
Yes, sir.
You know how to take the determinants? Plus, minus, plus. First of all, I have to take I cap multiplied with what? I cap is will be multiplied with
AY BZ minus BY AZ.
This we will cancel. This we will cancel. AY into BZ minus AZ into BY. That way. AY into BZ. See, when the arrow is this way, then it is a positive. Other side, back side, it is negative. AY BZ minus AZ BY. Second term. While writing second term, it is already minus J cap. See, already it is minus J cap written already here. But cut this, cut this. Now take AX BZ minus AZ BX. AX BZ. Is it right or not? Yes. See here. AX BZ. So we are getting minus. It is AX BZ minus AZ BX. What is the third
Sir,
term?
is there any reason for taking
Third
negative
term will
for
be-
J, sir?
No, there is no reason. Observe this one here. When we take the product, what do we get here? Do we get this or not?
Yes, sir.
We get in this way, right? So while
Yes,
we are
sir.
getting in this way here, you observe here, if I have to take with J, here I am taking plus J only. I am not taking minus J. But if I take plus J, then I will have to take this as positive, AZ into BX as positive, and AX into BZ as negative.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Understood? But
Yes, sir,
normally what we
understood.
do, normally we remember in this way that we take forward positive and backward negative. We remember forward positive, backward negative. Then I cannot remember in that way that forward positive, backward negative. Means it is just a memory aid. It is how we would like to remember. If there is some other student who would not like to remember in this way, maybe he will say this thing that I don't prefer to write like this. I will write here plus only. But I will remember that this I have to take now positive and the other one I have to take negative. But that might be more confusing. So in order to avoid confusion, always forward positive, backward negative. It is easier, I think. Is it not easier? Okay, just one thing we have to remember, it is minus
Yes,
here,
sir.
plus k cap, and then again same rule. Don't take k cap, don't take this, and then take this positive and this negative, forward positive, backward negative. So then we are getting ax by minus ay bx. So this is how we are getting. So either you learn this method, direct method only, without having to write in this determinant form, then you have to learn alphabetic order. See, alphabetic order, what does it mean? It is easy to remember by xy xy, it is z cap. K cap is nothing but like z cap, because it is pointing along positive z axis, right or not?
Yes,
xy
sir.
z cap. So you can remember this way also, xy z, but it is coming opposite. It is not xy, it is coming yx, so therefore minus sign. Similarly, yz, what comes after yz? X again. So xyz, then xyz, after z again comes x. Think like that. Yz, then what will come here? X cap. But it is
X.
zy, it is backward order, therefore it is with negative sign. After zx, after z comes x, so that is zx, then y cap means j cap, but it is opposite order, so it is xz. Understood? That's why it is coming with negative sign. That way we can remember it. It is your own way how you would like to remember. It is your, you can develop your own method also. In some books I will find in this way also, I j k, they will not even take that sign the way I have taken. Ax ay az, ax ay bx by bz, and bx by. Now let me tell you, I can get by this way also. How to get now? Now I will do like this simply. You will be surprised that this way also we can get the answers. Just take this, then take this, and then take this. Then after that, these three are taken. Then let us start going backwards now. Backwards, last, I don't have to write the last one here. If I want to write, you can write az bz, but that is not required. Then I will go backwards now. With red color, I am writing backwards. Then go backwards, backwards, and backwards. The ones which are backwards, these are negative, and the ones which are forward are positive. For example, I cap will be multiplied with what? Ay bz. J cap will be multiplied with what? Az bx. K cap will be multiplied with what? Ax by. And then when these are coming backwards, again I comes, but now it is backwards. So I cap will be multiplied with what? Az by, but with minus sign. Understood? Have you understood this last method?
Yes, sir.
Right. So there can be different ways. Okay. But you understand logic is
Yes.
mainly this. Mainly logic is that I cross j will be k. This is the main logic. From here only we can develop other methods. Okay. Right. And after that, application of dot product. Let us understand the application of dot product now. One application, we can use it to find projection of one vector along another vector. What we can use it to find? Projection of one vector along another vector. What we mean by projection? Projection is like a shadow. For example, if it is a vector and I drop vertical rays on it, vertical, or we can say not vertical, but rays perpendicular to B vector. If I draw rays perpendicular to B vector, then A will cast its shadow on B vector or not? What will be the length of the shadow cast?
Yes, sir.
Length of the shadow cast will be equal to this. If I draw rays like this perpendicular to B, then length of the shadow cast will be like this, and that will be equal to A cos theta. You agree that it will be A cos theta or not?
Yes, sir. It will be cos
Base upon hypotenuse will be cos theta, so base will become hypotenuse times cos theta. Always base will be
Yes, sir. A cos theta.
So it is A cos theta. So therefore I can write this thing as A dot B cap. How can I write A dot B cap? See, go backwards. You know it is A cos theta, but A cos theta can be written as magnitude of A into magnitude of unit vector B into cos theta. Is it okay or not? Magnitude of A into magnitude of unit vector B into cos theta. That is same thing, right? Because
Yes,
magnitude of unit vector will be 1. So I can say it is A cos theta into 1, and that one I can replace as
Yes.
B cap mod, and then go this side now. I know if I have one vector into second vector into cos theta, then it is nothing but dot product. So I can just write it as A dot B cap. Okay. Therefore, we understand projection equals to A cos theta, but that A cos theta can also be written as A dot B cap. Understood?
So can you please explain 1 second?
A cos theta, you understood or not? Which step is, means you go backwards. Are you understanding this step or not? That this is the projection.
Yes, sir.
then are you understanding that this can be written this way or not? You are not remembering, I think, that b cap is nothing but 1, because it is unit vector. Magnitude of unit vector will be 1 unit.
Yes,
So I
sir.
have just
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
multiplied by, understood, multiplied by 1, and that is this thing only. Is it understood now?
Okay, sir. Yes.
And then this is also this. Why? By definition of the dot product. What is the definition of dot product? A dot B is equal to A magnitude
cos theta.
into B magnitude into cos theta. So I have done that only. I can take this as A dot B cap.
Yes, sir. Understood.
Got understood now, right? If you have understood this, then you can very quickly start applying it. For example, apply it now only. Let us say I give you vector A as 2i cap plus 3j cap, and I'm giving you vector B as give me something I cap plus j cap. Can you
Yes,
tell
sir.
me what is the projection of vector A along B? Just take the dot product. A dot B cap. But what is B cap? B cap is nothing but B
1.
vector divided by B magnitude.
Yes, sir. B. Yes, sir.
So what it will become then? 2i cap plus
2i
3j
cap plus
dot I plus j. What is the magnitude of B? Magnitude of B will be 1 square plus 1 square under the root.
yes, sir.
Then what will be the dot product finally? You won.
Dot product.
You
Yes,
won?
sir. Yes, sir. Doing, sir. Doing.
Please, there are some students who are making noise. Done? Right.
Some they are
Pi by root two, sir.
unmuting their voice uselessly, sir. Unnecessarily they are unmuting, sir.
If they are doing it again and again, you can remove them also.
Okay, sir.
If they are doing again and again, not unnecessarily, please
Yes,
you
sir. Yes, sir.
understand this. You have to be responsible,
Yes,
because
sir.
I will be not okay. I cannot give so much rights to you so that you start removing on your own wish only. Only if
Sir,
you're
no,
doing it
sir. No, sir.
unnecessarily,
Not. I will not do like that, sir.
Charging problem was also again muted.
Sometimes by chance also it may be happening. Sometimes somebody may by chance click on unmute, so that might happen. So therefore, only if it is somebody
sir,
is doing
yes,
again
sir.
and again.
If
then
they
you
are
can do,
doing
otherwise not.
sound unnecessarily, then also I will not do, sir. Just I will mute them, sir.
Then right. So what is it? 2i plus 3j dot I plus j upon this thing. So what we get finally? Finally, I think, as we know, remember this ax into bx plus
Pi
ay
by
into
root two,
by. So 2 by root 2 plus 3 by root 2, which is equal to 5 by root 2. How do we get this?
5 by root
ax into bx. What is bx here? Bx is nothing 1 by root 2. B cap x is 1 by root 2. Similarly, b cap y is also 1 by root 2, because this denominator is root 2, right? So we are getting 2 by root 2 plus 3 by root 2, that is 5 by root 2.
A along B bar.
This is the projection of
Along
one
B bar
vector
ante
along another vector. Okay. In fact, I can say it is not projection, but it is magnitude of projection. If I have to say actual just projection only with sign with the vector finally, then what I will do? Then I have one more step remaining here. Let me tell that step also. Actually, projection will be, this is magnitude of projection. Projection will be A dot B cap whole multiplied by B cap again. That will be the actual projection vector. It is projection vector, and above this one is just magnitude of projection, because the scalar product gives us
Sir, but the B
magnitude.
cap value is 1 only, no, sir. It's a unit vector.
No, but there's a difference between scalar or vector or not. If I am
Yes,
just
sir, yes.
giving you, if I am just giving you A dot B, that is giving me 5 by root 2, but now it is no more a vector. Let us say I want not only, see this is, let me draw it here. This is a vector A, this is vector B. If I
Okay,
take
sir.
it in and I split it into components, let us say this component I want. This component can be regarded as component of A along B. I agree with that. But it has little arrow there or not? This arrow.
Yes.
This arrow will be gone, because when I take A dot B cap only, then it is a scalar. It is just magnitude. But I want direction also. So direction I can multiply with B cap again to give the direction. So this is projection vector. And just this thing is magnitude of projection. A dot B is also enough. That is magnitude of the projection. Okay. Understood?
Okay, sir.
We can also use it to determine angle between two vectors. And you understand how can we use to determine angle between two vectors, because
Yes, sir.
cos theta is A dot B upon magnitude of A into magnitude of B. How do we get this? By the definition of the dot product. What is the definition of the dot product? By definition,
bar dot B
A
bar is
dot
equal
B, A into B into cos theta.
cos theta.
So what I have done here, I have just taken AB and put it into the denominator on the other side. Then I'm getting cos theta. Then what will be theta? Theta will be cos inverse
Cos inverse.
this A dot AB upon AB. Similarly, what it will be? It will be this. If it has Z component also, then it will be AZ, BZ here, and here it will be BZ square, and here it will be AZ square. Those terms will be added. But if you understand for 2 dimension, in 3 dimension, I think you can yourself understand what it will be in 3 dimensions, right?
Yes, sir.
Understood? Now, to determine whether 2 vectors are mutually perpendicular or not. Can we determine whether 2 vectors are mutually perpendicular? Yes. If 2 vectors
sir.
are mutually perpendicular, then cos 90 will be 0.
0.
So dot product will be 0. Dot product will be 0. Then we can tell whether the 2 vectors are mutually perpendicular. This is the fastest way to determine whether the 2 vectors are mutually perpendicular or not. Very, very fast way. Very fast. For example, you can quickly tell. Let me give you an example. Let us say A is equal to 2 I cap plus 3 j cap. And I will give you 3 vectors. You have to tell which of those 3 are mutually perpendicular to each other. Let us say 3 I cap. Here I'm taking maybe 3 I cap minus j cap minus 2 j cap. Tell me which of these are mutually
A
perpendicular.
and C, sir. A and C.
See how quickly we can
Yes,
tell
sir.
A and C are mutually perpendicular, because 2 when I have to take dot product, then I don't have to take just 2 with 3. 2 with 3 is becoming 6. But 3 with minus 2, product of 3 with minus 2, minus 6. 6
Minus
minus 6 is 0. Will it make a difference if I add k cap here?
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
Will not make a difference.
difference.
The value which is not given, that I can assume to be 0 k cap. If it is just given in 2 dimension, the third one I can assume 0 k cap. So 0 into 1 will also give us 0 only.
0.
These A and C will still remain mutually perpendicular. They are still mutually perpendicular. Okay. So we can write here A and C are perpendicular because A dot B, which is equal to 6 minus 6, is equal to 0.
A dot C, sir.
Oh, sorry. Yes, A dot C. Yes, correct. A dot C is 0. Right. This is example. Next, we can also use it to find magnitude of a vector. We already know, I think this you know already, A dot A will be a square root of A dot A. Square root should have written here. It was mistake. Square root of A dot A will be equal to A, right? For example, if you want to take one example, you can take, what is A dot A? A dot A will become AX I cap plus AY J cap. I'm taking in 2 dimension. You will be understanding what will be in 3 dimension also. AY J cap. So AX with AX, it will become AX square.
AX
AY
square
with
plus
AY,
BX square.
AY square. But if I take under root of it, then under root of this, then it is nothing but magnitude of A. We already know it. By Pythagoras theorem also we get the same result, right? So to find the magnitude of the vector, we can take the dot product of 2 vectors. To find the magnitude of resultant of 2 vectors, here it becomes interesting. Do you remember how we derived the formula of resultant last time? It was complicated method. Now you observe how easy it is. I have used point number 4 here. Point number 4 says that we can find out the magnitude of vector. Let us apply to find out the magnitude of resultant of the vectors. So A plus B mod will be equal to root of A plus B dot product with A plus B. Okay. So what we get then? We can multiply, we can take dot product separately, A dot A plus B plus B dot A plus B. Separately we can take. After that, what it will become? A dot A square. We know that, right? The dot product of a vector with itself is, what is the dot product of a vector with itself? It is square of the vector.
Yes, sir.
What is B dot B? B dot B is also giving us B square. So square terms I have taken together.
Sir,
This multiplied
how
with this.
how
what?
second step?
From here to this one.
No, sir. Upward.
Upward.
From
It is just normal multiplication. A multiplied with this whole, then B multiplied with this whole, second whole.
okay, sir.
Just all, it is same only. It is usual. these the product of the vectors, they follow the usual laws. What we call this law? This law I think we call as
Distributive law.
distributive law. So it follows the distributive property. Okay. Only one property does not hold. That is our A cross B does not become equal to B cross
B
A. That
cross
is that also is in cross product. That is the only one property which is creating problem. Otherwise, it is just like normal mathematics only. The way you do algebra, it is like that only. No difference, not much difference. So what we are getting? A dot A is A square. B dot B is B square. Remaining terms, A dot B, and here B dot A. Do you know that
2AB.
A dot B is equal to B dot A? This is commutative.
Yes, sir.
Dot product is commutative. Okay. Therefore, we are able to do this. We are able to write 2A dot B. And what is A dot B? A dot B is AB cos theta. So we are getting
cos
the
theta.
result. We are getting A plus B mod is nothing but A square plus B square plus 2AB cos theta. See how easily we are getting this result this time. Very nicely. Next.
Angle made by the resultant with A bar.
Angle made by resultant with A bar, if you want to get, this is the resultant. What angle will it make with A bar? Let us say it is what do you
Alpha.
want? Alpha.
B bar.
Let us say with beta, with B it is making beta, and with A it is making alpha, and this is the resultant. I want to get the angle. Again, simple method is to take the any angle you can find out. What is the method?
A bar
I
dot
told you
alpha.
that dot product can be used. Dot product can be used to determine angle between two vectors. What I have to do now? A dot R bar. B will change into R. A dot R bar divided by A into R magnitude. That will be giving us cos of the angle between two vectors. Can we use it or not?
Yes,
Let us
sir.
try to use it now. Let us try to use it now. So we are getting A dot R bar means A plus B, right? I want to get cos alpha. Cos alpha will be nothing but A dot R divided by A magnitude into R magnitude, which is equal to this upon A into R magnitude is root of A square plus B square plus 2AB
2AB
cos
cos.
theta. What is the numerator? Numerator becomes A square plus AB cos theta. A square plus AB cos theta upon A. One A will get cancelled because numerator also we have A square plus A, so I can cancel one A with that. This A gets cancelled. We are left with A plus B cos theta upon root of A square plus B square plus 2AB cos theta. That is equal to what? That is equal to cos alpha. Getting cos alpha or not? Getting? So what will be alpha? Alpha will be
Cos inverse.
cos inverse of this. Similarly, can you get beta or not?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
The same way we can do that.
Same way we can get beta. Although, let me tell you one more thing here. It is really very good and very interesting to find out the magnitude of the resultant of two vectors by taking dot product method. It is so easy and it is so easily we get as compared to parallelogram law. But this is not that much suitable to find angle between resultant and the vector. There is another method that let me tell you that one. See what I'm doing here. See this side of the page. I'm drawing a perpendicular here. And in this, what I'm doing now, this is a vector. This angle is, it is making this angle is theta, right? What I will do, I will take a sine theta.
A sin
here.
theta.
This is a sine theta. And this I will take as a cos theta.
Cos theta.
So what will be tan?
Tan beta is equal to A sin theta by B plus A cos theta.
Tan beta will be a sine theta. This tan beta, see this triangle you observe. In this triangle,
B plus A
this is
cos theta.
perpendicular.
A sin theta by B plus A cos theta.
B
A
plus
sin
cos
theta by, yes,
this is
sir.
comparatively easier. This is comparatively easier method. So normally for this purpose, we use this method only. This is better. What is similarly tan alpha with A? What it will be? Just replace A by B and B
B
by A.
sin theta
That's
by A plus B cos theta.
exactly right. Tan alpha will become B sin theta divided by A plus B cos theta. For case of alpha, I have not drawn any diagram because I have done similarly now. Means this thing I am explaining by the diagram. This thing I am saying that similarly it will also happen. If you want to make diagram, we can do that also, but no need. Okay. We can do that also if you want. See, this way we have to make the diagram. I have to extend A. I have to extend A and I have to take perpendicular on A this time. This angle is theta. This vector is B. This side it will become B.
B sin theta.
B sin theta, and this side it will be B cos theta.
Cos theta.
Now you observe this time this triangle. In this triangle we can observe. Okay. In fact, I think, let me name these triangles. If you want to do later on, you may get confused. Let me call it as ORB triangle here, and let me call it as ORA triangle. So this is coming from triangle ORB, and this one is coming from triangle ORA. Okay, understood?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Sir, please share this PDF into group, sir, once.
This I will share. Till now, yesterday I did not share probably. Did I share yesterday? Yesterday I may not have shared. Today I will share, don't worry. Okay.
Okay.
To find the magnitude of the resultant of three vectors, if I want to get the resultant of three vectors A, B, C, then again, this can again help us. See, because once we know that dot product helps us in magnitude, then whether it is resultant of 3 or 2 or 4, how many vectors we can always do. Now let us say I have three vectors A, B, C. Angle between the vectors are given. A, B, B, C, C, A are having angles alpha, beta, and gamma respectively. A, B for A and B, what is the angle? Alpha.
Alpha.
Between B and C, between B
Beta.
and C, angle is beta. Between C and A, angle is gamma. Let us say it
Gamma.
is given, and I want to get magnitude. Then take the dot product. This thing will be so complicated by other methods, and it is so easy by the dot product way. So easy, so simple. I know what is. Do you know what is the square of A plus B plus C? If you know that, then it will be easy for you to understand. A square plus B square plus C square.
A square plus B square plus C square.
plus 2CA.
Just
We
in
know
place
that
of
formula.
2AB, 2BC, 2CA, we have to write A dot B, B dot C, and C dot A. That's it. Because
Yes,
this
sir.
is a dot product here. What is A dot B?
AB cos
AB
alpha.
cos A. B dot C, BC cos beta, and C
BC
dot
cos-
A, CA cos gamma. And this is the answer. This is the answer. We are getting it. Point number 6 also is covered. Come to point number 7. This can also help us in finding equation of a sphere with center given at x0, y0, and z0. Let us say I want to write the equation of a sphere. Okay. What is the property of a sphere? What is the locus of the points which represent this sphere? The sphere is the locus of the points which are at the same distance from a given point C, right or not? If I look at the surface of the sphere,
Yes, sir.
then that point on the surface of the sphere will always be at the same distance from the center, right or not? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So I will use the same concept. I will use the same concept. What will be C to P distance? C to P distance is magnitude of R. And I can write CP, I can write as, I have used one more concept here, which I discussed yesterday, that I can write CP as
RPC.
position vector of P with respect to C. And what is position vector of P with respect to C? This I am writing separately here. If you don't understand this, then you understand first what is RP. RP is nothing but x I cap plus y j cap plus z k cap. And what is RC? Center position vector of center is x0 I cap plus y0 j cap plus z0 k cap. How do I know these position vectors? These are given. It is a general vector x0, x, y, z. When we take not, then it is referring to a specified point. But x, y, z could be any. It could be representing any point on this. Same way, the way we do it for the y equal to mx plus c equation. In that case, x could be any point and y could be representing any point. Same way here also. So, do you understand this part? RP, why I am taking RP as this and RC as this? Then you know what is RPC. RPC by our definition, which I discussed yesterday. So, some of you may not be remembering. Let me discuss again. RPC is nothing but RP minus RC. Very important formula to be remembered always. Okay. So this you have to remember always. RPC, position vector of P with respect to C is equal to RP minus RC. If I do that, then I will be getting x minus x0 I cap plus y minus y0 j cap plus z minus z0 k cap.
K cap.
Now, how to take the magnitude of this? You can take the magnitude now. Its magnitude will be nothing but x minus x0 square plus y minus y0 square plus z minus z0 square under the root. That will be the magnitude. Or I can take the dot product here and that will be equal to square of the magnitude r square. But remember, what is it now? This is also the equation of the sphere. All I have done is find out the magnitude of the radius, and just after finding the magnitude of the radius, I am automatically getting the equation of the sphere, and that too in 3 dimension, not just in 2 dimension, but in 3 dimension. Similarly, we can obtain equation of a circle by omitting any one direction. If I want to draw the circle in xy plane, then I have to just remove this, and I will be getting x minus x naught square plus y minus y naught square is equal to r square. That is the equation of the circle in how many dimensions? 2 dimensions.
2D.
In xy plane. Can I get the equation of a circle in yz plane? Yes. I have to remove this. This will be the equation of circle in yz plane, whose centers
sir.
are, whose center will be
Y
y
naught
naught
comma Z
comma
naught.
z naught, and radius will be r. So imagine the power of vectors and the power of the dot product. In fact, it is the power, general power of the vectors. Dot product is just useful in one place, okay? But remaining, it is mainly about the vectors. The vectors are so wonderful that we can use it to write the equations in 3 dimension, which normally we are afraid sometimes to write in 2 dimensions also. If we have to write it in 2 dimension by not using vectors, it will be very lengthy task probably as compared to this. Next, let us say I want to write the equation of a parabola, and that too not in just 2 dimensions, but I want to write it in 3 dimensions, or I want to write it in vector form. How to write? You know already equation of parabola is y square equal to 4fx. F is the focal length, x is the x coordinate, and 4 is just a number. Then what will be the position vector of any point? What will be position vector of any point P on the parabola? Xi cap plus yj cap, right or not? But what is value of x? X can be written as y square upon 4f. Okay, x can be written as y square upon 4f. Then it will become y square upon 4f I cap plus j cap. This can be regarded as equation of parabola in vector form. Okay, what is y, by the way? Here y is nothing but, if I take its y coordinate, what will be the y coordinate? Y coordinate will be r dot j. Is it right or not? If I take r and I take the component of r along j cap, then what that will give me? Component of r along j cap, that will be giving me, if it is angle theta, I think you know this will be nothing but, it will be r cos theta, and r cos theta will be nothing but, it will be this y
sir.
only, y coordinate only. It has coordinates x comma y. Okay, it will be y coordinate only. I hope you are understanding this. If you are not understanding, then I may have to write one more step in between to make you understand it. It is nothing but magnitude of r into magnitude of j into cos of angle between them. Magnitude of j is 1 unit, so we can just write it safely as r cos theta. And r cos theta is nothing but, then it is just y only. Means if you don't understand this, then you think in this way. First you start with r dot j, and then go to r cos theta, and then write r cos theta as at last y. So if you are not understanding that y is this, first you understand this is this and this is that, and that is equal to y. Okay, I hope you have understood this.
Sir, once more, can you explain the last point, sir?
I am saying just ignore this part. This is straightforward.
Yes, sir.
Can you understand
Okay.
this equal to this?
Okay, sir. Understood, sir.
So just ignore this. If you go this way, then you will automatically understand why I wrote y is equal to r dot j. Okay. Right. Now, this is really wonderful that I can write the equation of r, this parabola, in this way. It appears very complicated. You may be thinking, why should I write in this way when there is such a simple equation? I agree. We need not write in that way when there is just a simple equation. But I'm telling you that parabola can help us write these equations. Sorry, these vectors can help us write these equations. These vectors can help us write these equations. Now, see now, this is amazing. After this, what I'm going to tell you, it is amazing. This is amazing. Equation of parabola I can write in 3 dimensions also. This is normally supposed to be so difficult that not even dealt in 12th class real mathematics also, not physics. This is just we are doing physics, and that also we are doing basic mathematics of physics, just basic mathematics. But imagine the power of vectors, that using just basic mathematics knowledge, not knowing much mathematics, what we can do, is not even done in 12th class mathematics also. We have, it can be done maybe in a higher level, but not even in 12th class mathematics. But see, we can do it just using this vectors logic. What we are doing here now, if I want to write equation of a parabola in 3 dimensions, let us say there is a parabola, not in yx plane, not in xz plane, but in 3 dimension. Means it is a line which is drawn in space. You can imagine it is going from here to here. And this plane is not yx plane. It is some other plane. It is a plane which is inclined at some angle with xz plane. Xz plane is horizontal. You can imagine like this, that there is a wedge. You know what is wedge? What is wedge?
No.
Wedge is nothing but just a inclined, what we can call it, this shape. You observe this shape and understand what this shape is. This is called as wedge or inclined plane. You understand inclined plane?
Okay, sir. Understood.
So on this inclined plane, if I draw a parabola, we can write the equation of such parabola also. Although y-axis is in this direction, x-axis is in some other direction, z-axis is in some other direction, and I want to write the equation along this parabola, we can write that. What I have to do only, I have to tell you, you have to tell me first that how this wedge is inclined, means what is the orientation of the wedge. That orientation I can tell by knowing 2 things about the wedge. One is probably this n cap vector. If I have this area of the wedge and you give me perpendicular to that area n cap, then you can tell, if I give you perpendicular to the plane, vector perpendicular to the plane, you will automatically understand what is where the plane is kept. If I give you a vector which is perpendicular to the plane, can you tell where the plane is kept or not? This is the part which I think needs a little bit of 3D understanding. And I'm feeling need of writing on the board, or maybe not on the board, at least I will explain you, and you should be able to see me. So let me share the video with you so that you are able to see me, and then I will try to explain these things again. It is difficult otherwise to explain directly this way only. Let me try to explain by you have to look at me what I am doing here. Wait a second. Okay, let us see now. Can you see me?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
So I think I also want to see myself. So what do I need to do? Wait a second. Yes, right now I can also see myself. Let us say I have a plane. This board, I'm just making it like a plane only. This is a plane here. Now, if this plane is inclined, this is too big. Wait a second. Let me bring something else. Not this one. I have to bring something else. Wait a second. Let us have a plane. And in this is a book. This is area. And if I take a vector perpendicular to this, if I say this vector is pointing in vertical direction, if I say vector, this book is pointing horizontally, that's why its vector is pointing in vertically upward direction. You understand that part or not? If the book is horizontal, then
Yes, sir.
the vector will be perpendicularly upwards, right? If I say this perpendicular vector is pointing towards right, if it is pointing towards right of me, then in which direction the book will be? We can tell which direction the book is. If I say the perpendicular vector is pointing towards the front, then which direction the book will be? I can tell which direction the book is. If I say the perpendicular vector is pointing down, then I can tell which direction the book is. If it is pointing down, then I can again tell which direction the book, the plane of the book is. Means I can decide the direction of the plane of the book, provided I simply know one thing, that which direction the normal to the plane is lying. If normal to the plane lies in any oblique direction, then the plane will be in which direction I can tell easily, right or not? Because the plane has to be perpendicular to that always. Okay. So if I keep this pen always perpendicular to the book, then by looking at the direction of the pen, you can also tell how the plane is in 3-dimensional space. Is it understood or not?
Yes, sir. Understood.
Right, right. And one more thing now, I think I can take this opportunity because I'm sharing my video. I can take opportunity to tell you about the how to tell the direction of the cross product by taking right hand thumb rule. Let me discuss that also. Let us say I have a vector here. Wait a second, just I think maybe I can draw it on the board also this time. Wait a second, I will draw it on the board and I will show you. Can you see the board? Not clearly, or it's just let me little bit. Can you see it?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Let us say I have a vector A and a vector B, and I want to take the cross product. Then what is the rule? How to make the angle first? A cross B. I have to draw an angle. I have to draw angle starting from A towards B. That I have done here. I have drawn an angle
Yes.
starting from A towards B.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now take your right hand. This is my right hand. You have to take your right hand. Point the fingers of the right hand towards A first. First you do that. Take your right hand and point the fingers of the right hand towards A. But while you are pointing, I can point in this way also, I can point in this way also, I can point. But understand, I have to point in such a way, my fingers towards right, towards the vector A, I have to point in such a way. So the palm of my hand should be towards B, not away from B. So if I point in this way, is it right way to point or not? This way.
Oh,
No,
sir.
sir.
And if I point in this way,
This is right.
this is right way. So how I have to first of all, my fingers should be along which direction? Right hand fingers. Right hand fingers should be in which direction? Right hand fingers will be along A vector, along the first vector of the cross product. If I take A cross B, then it will be along A. If I take B cross A, then it will be along B. After that, what I'm going to do? Taking right hand that side. Also, palm should be towards the B vector. Palm facing B. Palm is facing B. Just these two things we have to keep in mind. Right hand fingers facing towards A and palm facing B. And then I have to curl my fingers towards B. If I curl my fingers towards B, are you observing? My fingers tip are pointing towards this arrow. My fingertip are pointing towards the arrow, right or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And then this thumb is pointing outwards or inwards? This thumb is pointing
Outwards.
outwards. If it is pointing outwards, then draw a dot here. Dot means outwards. So what is the direction of A cross B? This gives us the direction of A cross B. So I could draw perpendicular to this board in two ways. I could draw perpendicularly inwards or I could draw perpendicularly outwards. But now we can decide. This is called as right hand thumb rule. We can decide by right hand thumb rule that it is pointing, thumb is pointing outwards. So A cross B will be a vector which will be pointing outwards. And that vector which is pointing outwards, it will automatically become perpendicular to the plane containing A and B. What's the plane of A and B? This board is the plane of A and B. And this thumb is pointing outwards. So it is
Yes,
pointing
sir.
perpendicularly. Not only just outwards, it has to be perpendicular, 90 degrees to this. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay, so
Yes, sir. Understood.
let me get back again and with the screen share. Hello, I will stop. After some time, maybe after 5:30. Okay. So we can start where we were. Right. Can you see the screen now? No, you cannot see. I think so. Let me share.
Yes, sir. We are able to see.
You are able to see?
Now
Yes,
not,
sir.
sir.
Oh, it's saying, let me share again. I think I was not able to see my screen, and then I thought maybe you are also not able to see. Okay, now I'm sharing again. Wait a second. Can you see it now?
No, sir.
No,
You
sir.
cannot see.
No, sir.
Shared now. What happened? Wait a second. Let me share again. Okay, you can see now. So see this one here. This one is a plane, and this n cap is representing perpendicular to this plane. N cap is representing perpendicular to the plane containing this wedge, and a cap is representing the vector lying along the axis of the parabola. If I know this, then I can write this equation of parabola in 3 dimensions in this way. J was last time, what was j cap representing? Last time j cap was representing the vector which is along the axis of the parabola. This time a cap is representing the unit vector which is along the axis of the parabola. Then I can write r dot a squared divided by 4f multiplied by a cross n cap plus r dot a into a cap. What is a cap representing here? A cap is nothing but it is equivalent to the last time j cap. It is equivalent to the last time j cap. So last time whatever role j cap was playing, this time a cap is playing. A cap is representing the axis of the parabola. So a cap is playing same role as the last time j cap was playing. So I have just replaced j cap by a cap. So you understand this second term probably here, but you might not understand how do I get j cap here. J cap, how do I get I cap? Because one term was I cap, one was x axis also. How do I get that term?
A cap cross n
That
cap.
term I'm getting by taking cross product of a cross n cap. If I take cross product of
Into
a cross
K cap.
n here, then I will be getting this b cap direction. If I take a cross n, then I will be getting a unit vector which is perpendicular to a and n, and that will be pointing along b cap. That is playing the role of I cap here. So by this, I am able to write the equation of this parabola in 3 dimensions as well.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Right. Ninth, I'm taking example. R dot n is equal to d. What is this? This is the equation of a plane in 3 dimensions. If I want to write equation of a plane in 3 dimensions, it is so simple. R dot n cap is equal to d. What is n cap representing here? N cap is nothing but
Normal.
Unit vector.
unit normal vector to the plane. It is unit normal vector to the plane. So this is, and what is d representing here? D is perpendicular distance of plane. It is perpendicular distance of plane from origin. It is perpendicular distance of plane from origin. This is D is representing that. This thing I have to explain in more detail, I think, to make you understand 9th point, or maybe 8th point also. Some of you may not have understood. Don't worry about this much if you have not understood this 8th one. And 9th one, I will explain you after some time. Don't worry if you're not understanding now. Before that, let me explain another example. To prove various trigonometric identities, let us say I have a unit vector B and unit vector A. What are the direction cosines of B is making angle B with x-axis? Then I can write its coordinates as B and cos B and sin B or not? Tell me.
Yes, sir.
Why
Yes,
I can write
sir.
that way? Because
Yes, sir.
it is 1 unit magnitude, and if I have to take the x component, then this is like a base, and we know base upon hypotenuse is equal to cos theta, and I know base will become equal to hypotenuse into cos theta. But what is the value of hypotenuse here? 1 unit. Then what will be the value of base? Base will be nothing but
Cos theta.
1 to cos. Therefore, I can write it as cos B. Similarly, in the same way, if I take y component, then y component will be sin B.
Sin B.
Okay. So x cos, then what will be a cap? A cap will become cos A I cap plus sin A j cap. Similarly, b cap will become cos B I cap plus sin B j cap. What will be angle between A and B? I have told you how to find the angle. Take the dot product.
A bar dot B bar.
If I take A dot B, that will give us cos of angle between them. What is angle between them actually? That angle between them is nothing but this theta angle between them is, this is nothing but here it is A minus B, right? So we are getting AX BX plus AY BY, that is cos A cos B plus sin A sin B is equal to cos of A minus B. We are able to prove the trigonometric identity using vectors. So the examples which I have given, although I have given 10 examples, in books probably in some of the books you will find less, but these are not sufficient, and these don't even cover the full power of the vectors. Actual power of vector is so much, then we can probably do the complete coordinate geometry, complete 3D geometry, and many theorems of geometry we can prove using vectors. Many the theorems of trigonometry we can use prove using vectors. So vectors are really very, very powerful tool which we are having. So if you understand vectors properly, then you will be able to really apply it in a much better way in physics also. Practice problems I am giving you, simple practice problems. What is the angle between the following pairs of vectors? You can try it yourself and tell me the answer tomorrow, what answers you will be getting. Find the angle between two body diagonals of a cube. Try these also, and I will be discussing tomorrow if you have got the right answer or not. Find the angle between two body diagonals of the, can you find the angle between two body diagonals of the cube? How to find? How to find the angle between two body diagonals of the cube?
Not.
Do one thing first. Assume there's a cube placed at the x-axis, y-axis, it is z-axis. At the corner, some cube assumed to be placed, and assume that to be 1 unit cube. Then you just try to find out what is the vector which represents one body diagonal of the cube, and then find out what is the vector which represents the other body diagonal of the cube. How to find out? I'm giving you a hint. Let us say A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H is the cube. If I know one body diagonal is by connecting H and B points, then what I need to do? I need to do RBH, position vector of B with respect to H. That will be position vector of B minus position vector of H. That can give me one body diagonal. Similarly, I can get another body diagonal which is connected between A and G. Then I have to just do RA minus RG. And once I know these things, then all I need to do, I need to represent RB and RH. What is RB value here? Can you tell me what is RB value?
X naught, Y naught, Z naught.
RB value is, see, B lies in which plane? B lies in XZ plane. So if I look from XZ and here it is B, then I think RB vector will be nothing but, what is the dimensions of the cube? I told you, assume the cube to be 1 unit, because we don't have to take it 2 units, or we can take 2-3 units, no problem, but angle does not depend on how much, what is the unit dimensions of the cube. So I can take 1 unit for ease of calculation.
Root 2, sir.
So RB will be not root 2. You are still understanding. RB, magnitude of RB is root 2, not RB. RB is 1 into I cap plus 1 into K cap. So RB is nothing but I cap plus K cap. That is RB.
Yes, sir.
I have to write this vectorially. I don't have to write just RB magnitude minus RH magnitude. That will not be equal to RBH magnitude. That is wrong. I have to write RB vector and RH vector. Then I will be getting RBH. After getting RBH, what other thing I want to get? I want to get maybe similarly RAG. After getting RAG and RBH, what I need to do? I can find out angle between those two diagonals, because one diagonal is represented by RAG and another diagonal is represented by RBH. Try to do this also. After that, midpoint of the 3 sides of the cube, which are neither intersecting nor parallel, are joined to each other by straight lines. Find the angle between these lines. This is also a very interesting problem. Try to do this one. Question number 5. If P is equal to Q, find the angle between P plus Q and P minus Q. Comparatively simpler as compared to the third and fourth. Try this one also. Find the angle between two sides of a regular tetrahedral. Angle between a side and the symmetric axis of the tetrahedral. This one, 6th also you try to do. If you are not able to do these questions, question number 5 and 6, then maybe no need to worry that much, but at least do the questions from the assignment or which is given to you last week only. You have not done the questions of vectors from that assignment. Do those. Okay. I'm ending this class now. Please do those. That work you have to definitely do. You will not understand otherwise what I'm teaching here. And it will not be helpful. This class will not be helpful if you don't do the work yourself also. Okay. Will you do? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Don't try to do that work, right?
Share the notes, sir.
I will share it. Let me share it. In fact, now only I will try to do it fast. I'm sharing it in Google Drive, and from Google Drive I will share it to you. Okay.